Folks, last year I put out a popular video on YouTube called Should You Move to North Carolina? That was because someone had asked me a question, and so I gave people my thoughts about what I liked about North Carolina and, my feelings about various places. I've lived in a lot of places in North Carolina, from down in the middle part of the state all the way over to the kind of some of the farthest mountains in the west. I've lived down in Charlotte, grew up down there when I was a kid. I've vacationed on the Outer Banks. I've seen North Carolina from one end to the other. I've done work out in Murphy, which is about as far west as you can go before going into Tennessee and Georgia. Other people have asked me, should I move to Winston-Salem? I answered that question. I had an interesting question today. I'm not going to show this person's name, but I'm going to read you the email. It says, "Hi, Tony. I viewed your Should I Move to North Carolina video. Very nice. Thank you for saying that." One of the things he says here says, "Could you suggest a couple of cities other than Asheville that I might consider that have a similar charisma and social life, but with a much lower cost of living?" Well, Asheville, I'm sure when you watched my first video, I did kind of brag on Asheville because it does have an interesting cultural, mix there. There's a lot of fun things to do in Asheville. It's beautiful in that area. So there are a lot of selling points Asheville. But it is, there's a bit of crime there, and it's expensive. It is expensive to live there. A lot of rich people live there, and so the real estate prices and cost of living is pretty high. It's just been driven up. So, something I'm going to do, I'm going to provide some mountain alternatives to Asheville at the end of this video. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Morganton, North Carolina. I'm going to talk about Hickory, the Catawba Valley, where I live. I've been hesitant to do this video because I didn't want to seem like I'm just bragging on the place where I live. First of all, I'm not originally from this area. I chose this area to settle in. I'm from the higher mountains, a place called Little Switzerland, Spruce Pine area there, which is about halfway between Boone and Asheville. Let me go to a Google map here. I'm going to show you, my pug just joined us here. Let me show you North Carolina. So you can see, it's kind of hard to see the little gray lines here, but there you go. That's what separates. There's Virginia up here, Tennessee over here, and here are the mountains and the everything, the separation between North Carolina and Tennessee, the Appalachian highlands. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. Here's Asheville over here in the far west, kind of the southwest. You have Charlotte, our big metropolis over here. You have the Winston-Salem, High Point, Greensboro, Durham, all where a lot of the money is made and the government takes place, in all Raleigh-Durham down here in the Piedmont. And then you have Boone, which is very rustic and cool up there and beautiful mountain place. You have Asheville, of course, as I said before, cultural center of the West. And then you have this little middle region here. Now, I have chosen to live where this blue dot is right here. This blue dot is Valdese, and Mineral Springs Mountain, where I live, is right there under that blue dot. And so here is a town called Morganton. Now, let me tell you why I really, really like Morganton. I like this whole little Catawba Valley. You have Hickory here. You have Lenore up top. You have Statesville over here. All these are really nice towns, moderately big-sized towns. Hickory, I'm guessing probably 50,000 people. It's sort of a little metropolis there in a way. There's a number of little smaller towns that have grown together around it, Conover and Newton. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. We'll show you this just a little bit more closely here. So now you can see the thing I guess I'm trying to point out here is how strategically awesome this place where I live is. You have I-40 right beside you, so you got an interstate. You got 321, which is awesome and fast to travel to go down here and get to Charlotte if you need to get to an international airport, if you want to go see the symphony, if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into lectures and all kinds of cultural things going on. Charlotte has it. You got one of the best football teams in the NFL. You got Michael Jordan's, not Bobcats, but Hornets again now in the NBA. You got Charlotte Knights baseball, so if you're a sports fan, big sports town. So you got a lot of stuff, high-end retail and all going on in Charlotte. Back here in Asheville, again, awesome city. If you like beer, if you like music, if you like awesome food, if you like great shopping, if you like beautiful mountain scenery, the Biltmore House, a lot going on, very heady money town. There's a lot of culture and stuff going on there. Again, you have Boone. Appalachian State University is up here. It's a university town. I like Boone a lot. You know, out in the country, just outside of Boone, it's just a whole lot of mountains and almost like, I'm not going to say nothing, it's wilderness. There's a lot of wilderness and stuff up here. But Blowing Rock, all this is absolutely beautiful. And so you got Morganton, and look where Morganton's located. It's here. It's between. Oh, first of all, let me skip over Hickory. So I'm going to suggest Hickory, Morganton, Valdese area as an awesome place to live if you're going to move to North Carolina and you're looking to live economically, but still go see cool things and be involved in cool things. But Hickory, let me tell you about Hickory. Hickory, fairly good sized town. Not a very high crime rate. I mean, of course, there is some crime, and we're going to look at some city data here just in a minute to compare some of these places. So we'll take a look at that, and I would recommend anyone that's thinking about moving to any area in North Carolina, go to city-data.com and start comparing cities, particularly crime rates, house costs, median incomes, and stuff like that. All that data is there, and you can go and look, and you can see what these places, are like, at least statistically speaking. I will tell you that Hickory has great food. There are a lot of good restaurants there, good place to eat, a lot of really nice people, a lot of great shopping. Now, I'm not talking about your super high-end shopping. If you want to go to, I don't know, pretty good shopping. I mean, nice mall, nice strip mall type things. All the stuff that you'd probably want, Targets and Best Buys and Kohl's, and then you have your JCPenney's and your, I don't think we have a Macy's. I can't remember what all's in the mall now, of course, Sears and Belk and all these, very nice places to shop for clothing and stuff. And then the downtown Hickory itself has quite a good little music culture going on and great little restaurants. They have an active community theater, which is very good. There's a lot that you can get involved in Hickory. Now, one sort of downside to Hickory that people will talk about is that it used to be a very thriving industrial town. It has changed. And Hickory 25 years ago would have been about furniture. And so there's a lot of money being made. It was a furniture capital probably of America maybe. Get a drink of water here. All the furniture and textiles and stuff have gone away. But what has stepped in is the cable industry. So a lot of your fiber optic stuff, a lot of your, cable for communications and for television, a lot of high-tech stuff has moved into the Hickory area. So there are good jobs in Hickory, but you have to be fairly well trained. If you're an engineer, if you're a person who knows electronics, if you're a person that understands, industrial processes and things like that, you can make a lot of money still in Hickory. If you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a professional of any sort. This person who asked me this question asked me, is there a college? Well, there's a great little college in Hickory called Lenore-Ryan University. Lenore-Ryan University, go check it out. Also, one of the best community colleges in North Carolina is Catawba Valley Community College. My wife just recently graduated from there with a respiratory therapy degree and is doing great. She's got a great job. And so a person with a doctorate or a master's degree even that wants to teach in a community college system in North Carolina can actually do very well. I mean, pretty good pay at the community college level. You have to have that master's degree, though, to really make, the better money. So I'm going to tell you, Hickory is nice. Why is this called the Catawba Valley? This is the Catawba River, this little strip here that I'm showing you. And it leads down to the largest man-made lake in all of North Carolina, which is down here. This is, good grief, Lake Norman. Sometimes I have a hard time remembering. But at any rate, so you can see here's Lake Norman. You got Charlotte. If you're a sportsman, you've got a lot of things you can do. From Valdese, I can drive from Valdese and be to the top of Mount Mitchell, the highest point east of the Mississippi, and I can be there in about an hour and 20 minutes. So you can get up into these beautiful mountain areas. You got Lake James here, which is beautiful. If you want to, live on a lake, you can find reasonable property there. It's still more expensive than the other property. But if you want to live around a lake, this is a beautiful, nice lake that a lot of people enjoy the sports and all there. You have the Linville Gorge, it's called the Grand Canyon of the East. Beautiful. If you've not looked at any of my Linville Gorge videos, take a look at that. Table Rock, Hawksbill, the Chimneys. There are Grandfather Mountains up here. Folks, it is just a splendid place to live. but you know, you're down in the valley. That's what I like about it is, you know, I grew up here. I grew up in this very high, you know, 2,000, 2,200 feet more in elevation than and it's nice in the summer. It's very cool. It's cold as the dickens in the winter. And down here in Valdese, it's so mild. It's unreal. Your typical elevation here is about 1,200 feet. I live about, or maybe it's 1,000 feet or something like that. I live about 1,800 feet up on the side of a little mountain. Still quite nice. You have the largest state park in all of North Carolina down here, the South Mountains State Park. So beautiful places to go hiking very close by. So Valdese, the place where I live, is like a little Mayberry town. It really is. If you go look at city data on that, you'll find out very low crime rate. Morganton, slightly higher. But let me tell you about Morganton now. Let me just shift over here for a minute. So Morganton is like that Mayberry town on steroids. Morganton has pretty nice shopping. It is more of your Walmart, Staples. They have a Belk. They have a really nice shopping complex now. It's fairly new, a couple years old, 3 years old maybe. Still very good restaurants. Beer, breweries and all are very popular around here. The arts are big in Hickory. There is a thing called CAMA, City of Morganton Municipal Auditorium. They have lots of plays that come through and you know, pretty nice, you know, performers that you can see. You can see, I mean, I went and saw Blood, Sweat and Tears there last year at CAMA. Great show. You know, so there are things to do in Morganton. And Morganton is just, you gotta come and you gotta sense it and feel it. You know, gotta take a few days and just check it out. Now it is homespun. It's like the Andy Griffith Show, only a little more highbrow. And Morganton again was a furniture place, but also other textiles and stuff. But Morganton has become sort of more of almost like a retirement community in a way. A lot of people like to come to Morganton and retire. It's not as job heavy as other places in the Catawba Valley, but still, yeah, a nice, awesome little town to live in. I just like it a lot. I like everything I need is there, and if it's not there, I can go just over to Hickory. From where I live, Hickory's 20 minutes away. Morganton's like 12 minutes away. And if I need to get to Charlotte, then I can be in Charlotte in an hour and 15 minutes. I can be in Asheville in 1 hour. Yes, from Valdese or from Morganton about 50 minutes. You can just bust it down 40. You can go fast and you can be in Asheville. You can enjoy all that Asheville has to offer and you can live in Morganton. Now, moving on west here, you know, you see Marion. Marion's a nice town too. Probably not so much the culture that you're looking for if you're into that college scene or whatever. But so I would strongly encourage you to look at Morganton, look at the city data. You know, real quickly, I'm going to segue over to this for a minute. Let's take a look. So I'm at citydata.com. Let me pull this map out of the way for a minute. And so here I've got Asheville on one side and I've got Morganton on the other. And let's slide down. Let's just take a look at some of these. All you have to do is go and open up a couple windows yourself and see. And you can see what the demographics and what the racial breakdown, estimated median household incomes here, 42,000 in Asheville, rest of North Carolina, 45. It's going to be significantly less than that in Morganton probably. Let's see. See Morganton, 27,843. But people just live simpler in this area. Yeah, what I will say is this. The same house you could buy in Morganton for $250,000 will cost you $400,000 in Asheville. That's the truth. And you know what? You can buy an awesome house in the Morganton area or in this Catawba Valley region for $250,000. You can buy a nice place. You can buy a reasonably nice place for $150,000 plus in this area. Again, that $150,000 house in Asheville will cost you $250,000, $275,000. So that's if you live in Asheville. Let's go down here to what matters a lot to people, most people. Let's go down to the crime rates, and you can look at home sales and all that. But I know that most people are interested in crime rates. So I'm going to just toggle down here. Bear with me, folks, for just a moment. Let's do a little bit of comparison here. So here we've got them both. We have Asheville on the left, and we've got Morganton on the right. And so you can look at all these different rates, you know, per 100,000. How many thefts is by far the most crime that you're going to have in Morganton. Now there is almost anywhere in North Carolina now, almost anywhere in America now, you have a drug problem. So there are people stealing. I mean, there are to support their drug problems. So you do have some thefts in Morganton, 2853 versus 3588 in Asheville. But look at these indexes on the bottom. This is the way you really compare these things. So look, you know, in 2014, the crime index in Asheville was 385, 259 in Morganton. 2012, 399, 211. So you see, you can see how the trends sort of match up, and you can see that Morganton really is somewhat superior, but Morganton has a lot fewer people. But still, we're talking about per 100,000. There's more crime going on in Asheville and that Buncombe County area than there is down here in Burke County where I live. So that's just a little bit to talk about and consider. Go to, as you see up here, citydata.com, and you can just type in any city in North Carolina you want to. If you type in Valdese, it's just for fun. Let's do my little Valdese town here. Let's see if I can get to Valdese, North Carolina. Hang on one second. So here's where I live, if we can pull this up. And let's look at the crime rates here. So let's look at the, oh my goodness, it's kind of squashed up a little differently here. But let's go down to this, to the indexes. So you can see here's Asheville at 385. Here is 110 in Valdese. Here's 399 in 2012. 2012 it was 94 in Valdese. Valdese is a very safe, good place. Again, thefts, yeah, there are thefts here. And, you know, you just got to be willing to understand that's going to happen. And you take your safeguards to kind of stop it from happening or prevent it as best you can. But so there you go. I'm going to pull the map back over here again for a minute. And so I've talked about the Catawba Valley, and I'm not kidding. Good people, people that pretty much leave you be. You know, they don't get into your business too much unless you let them get into your, unless you invite them into your business. It is very homespun here. If you like to garden, if you like a good sense of community, particularly if you like to go to church. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't have to be religious in this area, but you know, if you are, you'll have a ton of friends and just a heartbeat, and some of the most welcoming, nice folks. Again, just a pleasant, awesome, nice, safe, easy-going, peaceful kind of existence here. So that's why I like where I live. So let me talk about, you know, since you asked about it, and you maybe you like the mountains, let me talk about Black Mountain for a minute. So Black Mountain, as you can see, is very close to Asheville. It's a 15-minute drive from Black Mountain into downtown Asheville. Now, the thing you're going to find out, it's still fairly expensive there, but not as expensive as living in Asheville. I like Black Mountain a lot. I think Black Mountain is sort of like a little mini Asheville in a way. It's gone through a good bit of, I guess, development here lately, and by that I mean, you know, it's been rejuvenated. The downtown has. Look up Black Mountain. I may have some videos. If not, I might need to post some videos. A lot of cool little shopping. It's a very touristy town. Again, good food, great music scene there. A lot of the same bands and all that will play in Asheville will go out to the, I think it's called the White Horse. And it's a music hall there in Black Mountain, and they'll play. So a lot of really good music goes on right there in Black Mountain. And again, the beauty you have of that is that you can just bust it right into Asheville. You can be there in 15, 20 minutes enjoying all that Asheville is, but you're outside of it. Again, people that are trying to save money are moving that way though, so prices have gone up in recent years more than, you know, more than most people might like, but still it's going to be, I would say, 15% less than living in Asheville, maybe 20% less cost of living. Let me go over here to the west for a minute. I'll show you a town that I really like a lot. If I can get, okay, you see this place, so here's Asheville. I'm going to back out just a little bit. And over here's Lake Junaluska. Well, here is Waynesville. Now, Waynesville is about 25-minute drive, 25-minute drive outside of Asheville. 25 sounds about right. And Waynesville has a lot to offer. Now, once again, look out here. It is wilderness all around this. It's just a ton of Pisgah National Forest, I think is what this is. And there's a lot of waterfalls out here to the west. Maggie Valley, Lake Junaluska is just beautiful. You know, you can be over, you go through the Newfound Gap, you can be over here in Pigeon Forge and everything. Here's where am I at? Smoky Mountains and all that. Johnson University, Pigeon Forge, here we go. So there are, you can go to a lot of the vacation spots that people from all over the United States go to and be there pretty quickly. Waynesville has a very nice little downtown area. I mean, really, it's very pretty. It's pretty. There's a lot to offer there. Pretty good shopping there, better than you would expect for a rural mountain town. Good health care. Good health care in Morganton, too. By the way, I should have said that. I work for Caroline's healthcare system, Blue Ridge, Morganton. Morganton has a great little hospital system up here and a lot of good doctors. So certainly I would recommend, Morganton again for that. But talking about Waynesville, there's just a lot to like over in here. You can be over Cherokee, go to the casinos pretty quick. Over here's the Cherokee Reservation. And over here's the Harrah's Resort if you like to go and gamble some or play the slots or blackjack, whatever. Good entertainment over there too. They have some good bands and all that come to Harrah's in Cherokee. So I'm throwing those out as possibilities. I'm going to say that one of the best places to live in North Carolina. So go ahead and say it. I'm not just bragging on my location, but I'm going to say that on out here, you just move out this way, a little bit east. Like I say, you're only an hour from Asheville, less than that, 50 minutes, and Morganton is just great. And the whole little area here, check it out. If it's not what you're into, I promise what you're into is close. And you'll save some money, and you'll live, like I say, fairly peacefully, unless I put this video out and a whole lot of criminals decide to move in. I don't know, and there may be some people, I may actually get some crap from people because I'm posting this, because it's sort of like a little best kept secret. People don't talk a whole lot about how awesome it is in Morganton, but I have sort of started, I've become a proponent of it. And I will say this, 3 families have moved to Morganton largely at least I will say largely in part to the fact that I've put out a lot of videos about Morganton, and they've kind of liked the looks of it and they've liked what I've had to say about it. And all 3 families that I know are I won't say fairly, they're quite happy indeed to be living here. So they're saving money. These are all families from the north. One's from up in, I think, Iowa that came down. I think it was Iowa. And one from Connecticut. And then another one from Pennsylvania that have moved down here to this area because of my videos. So, but I've not been trying to hard sell Morganton. I don't work for the, tourism or what do you call it, Chamber of Commerce or anything like that. I'm just honestly speaking from my heart. You have to just like good down home folks. You have to like good down home folks, and then realize that it's maybe not as culturally fancy as it would be if you lived in a big metropolitan area, but there are still some fun, good, interesting people. There's a lot of art, good health care, just a good lifestyle. So I've gone on for a long time. This has been a long video, but I wanted to really speak from my heart about this area. And listen, there's a lot of good, Boone is a great place. But now, if you're going to live up here in Boone, and I've lost my place, here we go, Boone, Blowing Rock, again, be ready for tough winters. And if you want to go to Boone has its share of culture and everything, but if you want to get to a place like Charlotte, you got a long drive. And there's not really a whole lot else. You go out toward Knoxville or Johnson City, Bristol, Kingsport. Again, you need to be more of a country, mountaintop person. That's why I didn't really do hard sell on Boone. The university's there, and Boone is a great place. So I'm not knocking that. If you like skiing, you like the outdoors, like hiking and all, Boone is great. So anyway, I could go on about a lot of other places. I could go on about, didn't mean to disrespect Lenore, of course. I just think that since the I-40 corridor makes a big difference, and it makes a big difference to getting toward cultural things, and this person had asked that, then I would definitely be looking at the Catawba Valley, which you're looking at it right here, this big thing that I'm circling right here. This is the big Catawba Valley, and great weather too. I will say this, year-round weather. We get maybe 10, 12 inches of snow a year. Maybe on a bad winter, maybe 20 inches of snow all winter long. And most days you can be out playing golf and all in the winter. It's quite mild. In the summers it gets pretty hot. I mean, it gets in your 90s and all, and the humidity can be pretty bad. But still, not a bad place to live at all. Hope I've answered this question well for the person who asked the question, and for other people who might be interested in in a fine place in North Carolina to live. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you're just not being a butthole and saying something that's untrue, I'll leave those comments there. If you are, though, I'm going to get rid of them if you're just going to be a butthole. All right. Thanks, folks. Thanks for watching.